come to a very special moment in our program where we would like to recognize and honor one of our most talented and beloved affiliates. This man is a true artist and a musical genius. He has been an inspiration and a force of nature in music. He is a Grammy Award-winning songwriter and producer, and he never, when I say never, I mean never, stops creating. We put together a little video clip of this incredible artist at work. So please turn your attention to the screen and take a look.
I've always wanted to be in the music business.
What up? It's your boy Bryan-Michael Cox.
I've always written songs as far as back as I can remember.
Grammy Award-winning songwriter, producer.
I've always been interested in making music.
For artists Usher, Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige.
At the last day of school, your 5th grade graduation, and the last day of school, they went around and asked everybody what they want to be when they grew up.
I met Brian through a friend.
I got a mentor when I was 15, this cat named Greg Curtis.
He said, man, you got to see this kid, man. It's unbelievable what he's doing. He's got this little Yamaha keyboard.
So kind of put me in this wing.
He hit play, and I was like, you did all that in that keyboard? And I'm spending all this money on all this equipment. I'm like, man, I need to go get this keyboard.
And I told her I want to be a music producer like Quincy Jones and Teddy Riley.
I was inspired because of his drive.
And Greg showed me
Chris Brown, Trey Songz, Nelly.
And his innate ability to know exactly what to do as a producer.
Justin Bieber.
I always wanted to be a producer. Never quite understood what it meant.
In terms of putting the music together, it was fat, it was full, it wasn't busy, and it made musical sense.
You know, the list goes on and on. Marcus Houston and Marion.
But then you still felt the spirit of the music. You felt like, wow, this is a fresh new sound.
I did a demo with Beyonce and Kelly.
Out of nowhere, Beyonce was like, yo, I want you to do a song for us.
Then I started working with Brian and Brandon Casey from Jagged Edge.
We made a batch of records that ended up being J Heartbreak, you know, the second album.
So then went playing for Jermaine Dupri.
And then maybe about 2 months after that, me and JD started working together.
Yeah, that's when they just started, you know, going crazy.
Then it's Mariah, then it's Usher, then
Tony Braxton happened, Just Be a Man About It, Aaliyah happened.
Then it just kind of just
started going like a snowball effect.
He is SESAC's reigning Songwriter of the Year, having been honored with this title for the past 6 years.
I was like, wow, this kid is going crazy. And the first time I heard the song on the radio, I think it was Let's Get Married or one of those songs he did. I was like, that's my boy, man. That's my boy, Big Cox.
Grammys 2007. I was nominated for a total of 5 Grammys. We won 2.
And I can't be without you, baby. I've been waiting up until you.
Brian's song that he did with Mary J. Blige.
I got a chance to sit like on the second row behind Prince.
Was the #1 R&B song of the last decade.
I'd never seen my mom turn into a groupie. That was the first time I ever seen that in my life.
Grammy Award-winning songwriter and record producer Bryan-Michael Cox was at the SESAC Awards. Cox was named as one of the top 10 producers of the first decade in 2010 by Billboard magazine.
As a producer, your duty is to see a project all the way through, from the top to the finish.
Well, the best advice I have is don't compromise yourself. Understand your craft.
People always say, you know, be original. You know, original doesn't necessarily mean different.
Just like any other job, you want to be a doctor.
Because really nothing is new under the sun.
You gotta go to med school, you know what I mean?
Original means
same with this music thing. You gotta learn your craft. So.
just be true to who you are.
Learn your craft, man.
And articulate that in an original manner through your music.
Chord changes are beautiful, but from a creative standpoint, he knows how to break it down where the streets can still understand it.
Like in everything in life, you have ups and downs.
Business is a longer word than music.
You have hot moments, you have cold moments. What I've learned about those cold streaks,
You can't have music without business.
is how you treat people when you're hot is how they treat you when you're cold.
I mean, you can, but you'll be broke. You know what I mean?
And I'm really happy to see him flourish, that the business side hasn't stopped the creativity.
Michael Cox and Diddy are game changers, man.
For me to be a part of it, you know, when I asked to be a part of the group, I'm a person who's always trying to get back.
You never lose that dream. That's your life right there.
I've had a stellar career, and I'm still so young. So for me, in my 20s, I was like, oh man, when I turn 30, I don't want to be a has-been, you know?
Bryan has been very inspirational to me, just like he's been inspirational to so many other people.
And I look up and now here we are like 14 years later, and it's still like, word, you know?
It's been a good decade, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm just looking forward to the future.
Thank you, man. You all right with me, son. I'm proud of you. Keep going.
No, I can't forget about my where the party at. Where the party at.
Enough of y'all seeing me practice a little bit. I just wanted to get a little bit on tape, just in case y'all didn't think that we practiced.
And I can't be without you, baby. And I'll be waiting up until you get home. 'Cause I can't sleep without you.
Bryan's been with SESAC for about 18 years. I met him when he was about 21 years old, and it was the first time I think he had been at a SESAC event where he won an award, which is now not uncommon. We don't really have to get into all the things that have happened for Bryan. When I first met him, he already was on the charts for 400 consecutive weeks. I don't know how things like that happen, but that only happens if you're consistently talented. That ain't luck, folks. But in addition to all of that, Bryan travels to the United States. He tries to find and fund young entrepreneurs. He tries to show them how to start up their companies, how to find capital. In Atlanta a few years ago, I asked him for a favor, if he would speak, and he did. It was Martin Luther King weekend, and he addressed 2,500 young people, grade school children, all of whom loved the arts, all of whom wanted to get into the arts, all of whom were congregating at a convocation on that weekend. He got up and he began to tell them about what he did, and he began to inspire them. He told them about following their dreams, how you overcome obstacles, how you don't allow doors that are slammed in your face to stop you. He explained to them what it was that makes you feel core belief in yourself, the way he feels in himself. And by the time he finished, it was a gospel revival. He had whipped them into a frenzy, and 2,500 kids were standing and applauding, and they were inspired by Bryan-Michael Cox. Okay, so we know he did all of those wonderful things for Mary J. and for Mariah and Usher, and he won all those Grammys, and he did all of this work, and he's made all of this money, and he's a great guy and all of that. But he also nurtured a very young kid named Justin Bieber at the inception of his career before he was famous. He's just loved. He's a good guy. In the world I come from, Bryan-Michael Cox is what is called a mensch, okay? He's successful, sure he's respected, sure he's a businessman, but that's not why we're here. Tonight is about the human being, the quintessential American entrepreneurial man who doesn't leave bodies behind, who leaves people behind with love and never closes any doors, and they're always free to come back to him. This is a man whose standard of success is above and beyond gold or platinum albums or all of these awards or all of these trophies. This is a man whose high standard is one of compassion, generosity of spirit, a man who gives of himself, who molded himself,
who wants everyone in the world to be a success. It's not good enough that he's just a success. He wants it for everyone. He's the kind of person we aspire to emulate. He is therefore someone who inspires us when we meet him to do better, to give more of ourselves, to stretch, to grow, and never take ourselves too seriously. He has a moral compass. He has an ethical essence which guides him in his path through life. As a musician, as a man, and because of all of that, I'm proud, along with my partners, Ira Smith and Stephen Swid, with our great executives, Pat Collins and James Leach and Trevor Gale and the entire SESAC family, to announce it wasn't arbitrary, it was unanimously, unhesitatingly, by popular acclamation, that Bryan-Michael Cox had to be named the 2012 SESAC Inspiration Award recipient.
There's nothing else I could possibly say. Bryan, I love you. Anybody that knows you loves you. We could talk accolades all day, but you know, your music, when you put on that Mary record, when you put on one of those Usher records, and you're a guy and you fucked up in a relationship and you're going through it. Has anybody been in a failed relationship and had to throw on a Bryan-Michael Cox record to get yourself through the relationship? Put your hands in the sky so I can see them right now, Bryan. We all love your work. Your work is personal to us. It means a lot to us. But the work that you do outside of the work that you do in the community, the work that you do with those kids at the Travis Best Weekend, the work that you do with 100 entrepreneurs, and the way you got people involved, and the way you just a cool dude. And I would say the N-word, but listen, you are cool. Bryan, I love you. We thank you. There's nobody on this planet that deserves this award more than you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, stand on your feet and give it up one time. The Inspiration Award of the evening goes to Mr. Bryan-Michael Cox.
Too long, and I can't be without you, baby. And I'll be waiting up until you get home.
Wow.
Freddie said something about me signing the SESAC 18 years ago. I was 16 years old, and the young fella you saw up there that was talking about me is absolutely one of my best friends. Is like a big brother to me. His name is Greg Curtis. He's sitting over there somewhere. Yeah. Greg took me under his wing at a very young age and taught me the principles of or the techniques of songwriting and composition, and signed me up to SESAC. Was like, yo, you need to get signed to this company. I'm gonna hook you up. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it meant, at the time. But I was like, cool. You down with SESAC? I'm down with SESAC. Let's do it. And I just learned so much over the years. I remember coming to my first award show, and I did a song called Get Gone for this group called Ideal, and I won my first award. And there was a guy, a talented musician by the name of Jim Brickman. He won SESAC Songwriter of the Year that year. And I remember sitting down like, yo, I gotta win that award, man. I just gotta. I think at that point he had made one like 4 or 5 years in a row, and I'm like, man, I gotta win that award, And it goes back to the word inspiration or inspire. As musicians, as songwriters, as composers, as lyricists, as artists, our job, our duty, is to continue to inspire an entire world. You know what I'm saying? When we write songs, I always tell people, and I don't know, there are a lot of songwriters in the building. I know everybody has different techniques, you know what I mean? But I know for me, I learned a very valuable thing when I got with Jermaine Dupri. I learned that the song is in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's a million conversations going on in here, and within those conversations, songs are created. So I could point at every hit record that I've been a part of and say that there was a conversation. I could point at the record Burn and say that there was a conversation that me and Jermaine Dupri had, and that conversation translated to Burn. I can say the song I did with Kelly Rowland, Bad Habit, there was a conversation that was had. You know what I mean? You know, when two people are in a room, you got to be able to vibe, man. You got to be able to talk and get to know these people. You know what I mean? Because people are singing your songs. These people are actually, they're singing their songs. You know what I'm saying? They're singing their songs. So that's where I feel like the word inspire comes from. What I do outside of music, as far as my charity, that's just what I would do if I was flat broke. You know? I don't have to be awarded or you know, acknowledged for that, because that's something that I would do regardless. You know, teaching is something that's in my blood, something that I've always wanted to do, you know, something that I've always done. So me talking to kids, me going back to, you know, SAE and doing seminars for free, me going and doing master classes for free, and that's just me giving to other kids what Greg Curtis gave to me when I was 16. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this for the fanfare. I don't do it, you know, I don't do it because I want to be popular. You know what I mean? Like I do this because I love it. I write songs for a living because I love it. I play piano. You know, I was telling somebody the other day, like, if I had to go back to playing piano for church every Sunday, I'd be cool with that. Because that's just who I am. I'm a musician to my heart. So it's just incredible to be up here. I like to thank SESAC. I like to thank Ellen and Sean especially, because, you know, I kind of gave them a hard time the past few days. And I love them dearly. You know, this award means more to me than I thought it would mean, because I was feeling a certain kind of way. And they know what I'm talking about. But I love SESAC. I love Trevor Gale. I love Pat. Freddie, you already know. Freddie, that's my man right there. Y'all understand? Y'all give it for Freddie Gershon. Y'all got to give it up for him. Steven Swid, man. It's just good to see y'all, man. I don't know if my publishers are here. I haven't seen anybody from Warner Chapel in the building, but I'm gonna give Warner Chapel a special shout out. Clap it out for Warner Chapel. I'm be done in a minute. I just want to thank a few people. Angela Mack, Christy Henderson. Y'all been holding me down. My cousin Kendrick Dean is in the building, who's also a co-collaborator with me. Some of them songs up there, me and him co-wrote together. So that's my man, so my best friend, like a brother to me. Young Sebastian's back there somewhere. I just calling him by name that nobody know. But big up to my man Rico Love too. Y'all give it up for Rico Love, please. I've known Rico for many years, and I remember when I first heard Throwback, and I remember saying to myself, man, who did this record? One of my best friends, JQ, told me, he was like, yo, it's this kid, this dude named Rico Love that Usher got. Like, this dude is incredible. And I can't remember if we met shortly after that or it was shortly before that. But I just know that the record inspired me so much that I was like, yo, I gotta get down with that dude. You know what I mean? And ever since then, we've just been cool. Like, we've been really, really close. This was like 8 years ago, like 9 years, you know? And it's just great to see what he's doing, because we saw it back then, you know what I mean? Like, we saw where Rico is today. We saw that 9 years ago, you know what I mean? Rico couldn't even sing back then. Now Rico's singing all his demos. He's singing them things too. Like, I'm like, oh, is that Rico running? Like, damn, right? He's singing them things now, you know what I mean? So, man, big up to Rico Love, man. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you doing your thing, man. You know I got number love for you, dog. You know that. Greg Curtis, man, you know I love you, man. For real. Y'all give it up for Greg Curtis, man. I love you, brother. I love you. I thank you. My mom is not here. Y'all know how much I love my mama. My mom is my everything. Big up to my mom, Pamela. And my son is not here. My son is at home. But I love my little boy. This award is dedicated to him, and because he inspires me every single day. So thank y'all. Love y'all.